Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy is embroiled in a party funding scandal. Spanish media are really opening up the story. It seems to be getting bad to worse for him, yet markets have barely blinked.
Yeah, that is interesting, but I think the key here is that there's no immediate risk to him since his party is supporting him. They have a stable majority in government. There's no obvious challenger internally or externally to the Prime Minister, and markets simply have trust that this current Spanish government, which has done so well in terms of economic adjustment, which has pushed exports, which has pushed investment as far as that's possible, which has gained the trust of the partners and has even tackled the financial problems now, the financial sector problems, that this government is staying in place. So for the time being, as long as there's no actual legal threat to the government, it looks like markets are going to stay calm here.
Is that what it would take for the markets and investors to really start to take fright over Spain if it goes higher and into the courts?
Well, if there is an actual trigger that could lead to the demise of the current Prime Minister and indeed the current government, because even if the government, if the Prime Minister were to resign, that would still leave the Conservatives in power potentially, although of course early elections might be possible then. I think it's really about whether we get elections or not. If we do get elections, then that would be would make markets very nervous. If we don't get elections, and that's what it looks like at the moment, markets shouldn't be nervous and aren't nervous.
Okay, back to Portugal. We haven't had elections. We don't seem to be getting them soon, yet the coalition government is still very vulnerable and fragile. The government is still in place, but for how long?
That's a very good question. We've had the second wave of wobbles in a very short period here in Portugal. Remember 2 weeks ago the foreign minister resigned. It seemed that the coalition was at its end already, yet the Prime Minister responded very calmly and managed to strike a deal with his junior partner, which is headed by that foreign minister, Paulo Portas, and re-established the government, it seems. This government, actually, the centre-right government, has a stable majority in parliament, so there's no real reason why they should resign now or change the government to become a grand coalition together, or a national salvation government together with the socialists. However, the president, Cavaco Silva, has thrown a new question mark into this debate by saying that he wants such a national salvation government. So now the markets are second guessing whether Cavaco Silva can actually end the current coalition and force such a grand salvation coalition. And also it means that if we get such a coalition, we have precedents in Greece and in Italy which didn't go very well, and that is making markets nervous. So the response of markets to the Portuguese problems has been a lot more intense than the one to the Spanish problems.
Okay, and you think that difference of interpretation from the market between Spain and Portugal will continue?
Well, the Portuguese crisis is costly. They're really relying on trust in Berlin and trust in Brussels, and they're jeopardizing that trust at the moment. So it is a costly crisis. Whereas Spain, you can't really call it costly just yet because there's no trust that has been jeopardized so far. So I think the markets are responding. I think they're overreacting in the case of Portugal at the moment.